In May 2024, British magazine Tatler commissioned Zambian artist Hannah Uzor, real name Hannah Hasiciimbwe, to paint Princess Kate Middleton and write about her in their June 2024 issue. Uzor never sat with the princess herself, who was undergoing chemotherapy. Instead, she said she found 189,000 online pictures to use. Uzor chose the princess's appearance at the South African state banquet at Buckingham Palace in November 2022, the first of King Charles's reign, as inspiration. You can learn more about King Charles, Princess Kate, and other members of European royalty and their jewelry in their videos on this channel. Let's compare the photographs of Princess Kate Uzor admits to using for the actual portrait to the portrait itself. In Uzor's portrait, the blue of the ribbon does not match the navy blue sash, and the yellow does not match the light yellow adornments of Princess Kate's state banquet wear. The Royal Family Order of Queen Elizabeth II is light yellow. Princess Kate also wore the Star of the Royal Victorian Order and a diamond brooch holding in place her sash of the Royal Victorian Order, which is navy blue, not light blue. Tatler seemed to realize this and colored their background light blue to perhaps justify Uzor's mistake. Uzor completely omitted the star of the Royal Victorian Order and its cross, perhaps a dig at British Christians who also received a great deal of discrimination on this year's St. George's Day. Uzor also painted Princess Kate in yellow stripes, which are visible when you look closely, which is a very odd choice because the dress she wore at the event was white. Princess Kate's white cape dress was draped in silver crystalline baubles on her shoulders. Uzor included these, but seemed to give up painting them about halfway through, not extending the baubles nearly to Princess Kate's elbows, as she should have done. Uzor painted Princess Kate with the light falling on her face on the viewer's right-hand side. But this light distribution doesn't match Princess Kate's arms and shadows behind her arms into the white cape, so it's not really clear where the light is coming from. Uzor admitted her influences include Toulouse-Lautrec, who painted prostitutes, and this is incredibly demeaning and offensive. You can learn more about Toulouse-Lautrec in the Genevieve Lantolme and other videos on this channel. Let's look at Princess Kate's prior commissioned portraits as a comparison. In January 2013 came BP Portrait Award winner Paul Emsley's Portrait of Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge, which was unveiled at the National Portrait Gallery. It was the right choice in the end to have her smiling, he said at the time. That's who she really is. She struck me as enormously open and generous and a very warm person, the artist explained. The portrait was accompanied by written pieces titled Strictly Kate, showing the more democratic side of the princess. The South African painted the princess over a period of 3.5 months, with one sitting at Kensington Palace and one at his studio. The Duchess explained that she would like to be portrayed naturally, said Emsley at the time, her natural self, as opposed to her official self. The democratization of the monarchy continues in the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. Almost a decade after the Elmsley portrait, Princess Kate stood next to Prince William in The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge by Jamie Corrith. This is a definite opposite to the earlier work. Kate, regal in an emerald gown by The Vampire's Wife, stands arm in arm with William, the couple looking slightly to the side of the viewer as if glancing at an arriving guest. We seem to have caught them in the middle of the foyer. Again, we do not so much as look up at the royals in these modern portraits as we look directly at them. with monoloblonic heels and a pearl pendant brooch that belonged to 1818's Duchess of Cambridge, Princess Augusta Hesse-Kassel, Princess Kate wore Princess Diana's pearl earrings and bracelets in this portrait. The outfit, inspired by a 2020 trip to Dublin, speaks to the age-old themes of royal portraiture, the combination of the public and the private, the personal and the palatial. The royal green conveys royalty, and colors of blue and green often appear in Princess Kate portraiture to convey her love of the outdoors and athletic sport history at university. The portrait conveys light extremely well, with Princess Kate's face and neck shown both in shadow and in light. The sheen of the gown shines through as well. Coming back to Uzor's piece, one can't help but think of Cecil Beaton's Queen Elizabeth II photograph. Even though it is a photograph, Beaton used an expressive background, rich with culture and identifiable British architecture, wisely including red and green, the colors of Wales. With the red, white, and blue British and Scottish color palette, the photograph conveys what we want it to convey: royalty. Turning to an official 1955 painting, this one by Pietro Annigoni, Queen Elizabeth II is wearing the robes of the Order of the Garter. She stands in a pastoral landscape inspired by a comment she made to Annigoni of how much she liked to watch people and traffic from a window as a child. In 1972, The Times reported that the 1955 portrait was dismissed by some critics as romanticized and chocolate boxy, but the public liked it. The Queen, too, is known to have done so. The public responded to the Queen's aloofness, her royalty, her sylvan presence. How do you respond to Uzor's portrait?